The 10 Virgins of the Shrine. The morning after the shrine lights went out, Umuoma woke to silence. The birds were gone. The river was dry. The farms, once green, now looked tired and empty. Something sacred had broken. And everyone could feel it. The elders called for a gathering at the village square. The oldest man stood before the people, his hands shaking. He said quietly, "The peace of Anioma is wounded. Something unclean has touched the shrine." Fear spread like wind. Mothers held their children close. Farmers stopped their work and bowed their heads. No one dared to speak the thought on everyone's mind. That maybe one of the 10 virgins had broken the rule. Up on the hill, inside the shrine, Olido sat quietly, unable to sleep. The image of Neka meeting the farmer by the river wouldn't leave her mind. She wanted to protect her friend. But she also knew that if the elders found out, the punishment would be unbearable not just for Neka, but for the whole village. By noon, the old keeper, Mama Ebo, returned. Her face was hard, her eyes heavy with wisdom and worry. She said to the maidens, "The goddess does not speak with thunder. She speaks through silence. And right now, the silence is too loud." One by one, she looked into their faces. Her gaze lingered on Neka. The young maiden looked down, unable to meet her eyes. Mama Ebo sighed deeply. "The one who broke the vow must confess before sunset," she warned. "Or the land will carry the punishment meant for her alone." The air around the shrine grew thick. No one moved. No one spoke. But that evening, as the sun began to set, a black cloud rose from the east. It covered the light and turned the day into night. Then came the wind. Strong, wild, and angry. It tore through the farms, broke the roofs of houses, and scattered ashes into the riverbed. The people ran, shouting, "The wrath has come. The shrine is angry." Children cried. Women fell on their knees, praying for mercy. And still, Neka said nothing. Her guilt was eating her alive. Olido could no longer hold the truth. She grabbed Neka's hands and whispered, "Please, tell them. If you stay silent, more will suffer." Tears filled Neka's eyes. Her body shook as she whispered, "I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I only wanted to feel human again." Olido cried with her. But it was too late. The old keeper had already entered the hall. Her voice echoed like thunder. "One of you has walked where your feet must never go. Because of that step, the land weeps tonight." Neka fell to her knees. Tears rolled down her face. "I am the one," she said softly. "I broke the vow." Silence filled the shrine. Even the air seemed to stop moving. Outside, the villagers heard her cry. Some screamed. Some wept. Others fell flat on the ground, afraid to even speak her name. For generations, no one had ever broken that vow. The night Neka confessed, the whole of Umoma went quiet. The wind stopped blowing. The stars dimmed. And even the crickets hid in the grass. The other maidens stood in a circle. Their faces pale, their eyes full of fear. None of them could speak. Mama Ebo, the keeper of the shrine, stepped closer to Neka. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were full of sadness. "You have brought love where only duty should live," she said. "You have opened the door that must always stay closed." Neka bowed her head, trembling. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I never meant to hurt anyone," she whispered. "I only wanted to feel alive." Mama Ebo sighed deeply. "Child, every choice has a price. Love is not wrong, but when love breaks a promise, it asks for something in return." The other maidens began to cry. Olido, her closest friend, knelt beside her. I told you the world outside was not for us, she said softly. But I will not leave you to face this alone. That moment touched everyone's heart. Even Mama Ebel's voice shook as she said, the peace of Anioma can only return if the shrine is made clean again. She placed a clay pot in the center of the room. Inside it burned a small blue flame. The light of Anioma, which had protected the village for generations. But now, the flame was fading. The air grew colder. The ground beneath them trembled slightly, as if the earth itself could feel their pain. Down in the village, the elders gathered by the river. Old men with white beards prayed. Women sang quiet songs of mercy. And children clung to their mothers. Everyone waited. Because if the flame in the shrine went out completely, the land would fall into endless drought. At dawn, Mama Ebel spoke again. The one who broke the vow must walk the path of cleansing, she said. Only her truth can save us all. The maidens began to hum a slow, ancient song. As Neka walked toward the clay pot, she could barely stand. But she looked around the shrine one last time. The place that had been her home, her cage, and now her test. Olido took her hand. Whatever happens, she whispered, you are still my sister. Neka nodded. Then, with trembling hands, she touched the edge of the fading flame. A soft light spread through the room. Not bright, not blinding, but gentle like the morning sun after rain. The flame came alive again. The trembling stopped. The air became warm. Outside, the villagers gasped. The river began to flow once more. Birds returned to the trees. The farms shimmered with new green leaves. Mama Ebel closed her eyes in relief. The peace of Anioma has returned, she said. But when they turned to look for Neka, she was gone. All that remained was her white garment, folded neatly beside the clay pot. Olido screamed her name, but her voice echoed without answer. Some say she walked into the morning light and became part of the wind. Some say the shrine received her as its keeper, to protect Umuoma forever. No one truly knew. But from that day, the maidens who served the shrine carried a new rule. That love is powerful, but it must never be placed above the peace of the land. And when the wind blows through Umuoma at dawn, the people still say, listen closely. That's Neka, still watching over us.